Hey friends, I am so excited to share with you today our newest novel study, Rabbit Trails Through Literature, Charlotte's Web. Such a sweet, sweet book to do for a novel study in your homeschool. So this has actually been done for several months now. We pushed off some of our releases just to kind of clear the plates a little bit and have just a little bit less craziness going on, but we still have 2 novel study releases this month, so it's still plenty busy and plenty crazy and plenty of new things to get into your hands. So I'm going to show you inside of Charlotte's Web today, show you the books that you need, show you all kinds of other stuff you can get to go along with it. So let's get started. So first of all, this is a 10 lesson curriculum. So just like all of our other rabbit trails, if you're familiar with our curriculum, all of the lessons take about 2 weeks to get through. So this is about a 20-week long curriculum. So you can use this as your full language arts. We'll go over all the concepts that are being covered as well. Or you can use this as an add-on to any other language arts that you're doing that maybe don't have literature included with them. So it's up to you how you want to do it, that you can kind of spread things out a little bit. We're actually using this in our co-op this year, and I'm really excited to get started on that. And we do 16 classes throughout the year, so I'm able to still do 16 classes even with the 10 lessons, because I'm going to pull out things from the more ideas section that I'll show you. I'm going to pull out things with the extra books in our Rabbit Trails and Library list, and so you can make of it what you want to, whether you want to do it for the full school year and stretch it out, or if you want to use it as like a supplement. So it's kind of like it's one of our smaller novel studies, so it's kind of in a neat place that you can choose to do either of those things. So the 10 different topics that you're going to see in this are an author study on E.B. White, plot and narration, character development, anthropomorphism, that's a big word there, parts of a sentence, adjectives, questions and statements, cumulative sentences, interjections, and aphorisms. So lots of cool things to go over, maybe some words that you don't typically think of being a part of a language arts for elementary school. So some really cool things that your kiddos will be learning throughout this. And of course, there's so much more involved in this as well, because there are Bible verses included and all of that. So it's just a really cool study. So there's actually 2 main books to go along with this. So the first one is A Boy, a Mouse, and a Spider, the story of E.B. White. And so that's for that first lesson on the little author study. This book actually, so when we started writing this like over a year ago, this book was available brand new on Amazon. Guess what? It's not anymore. So I do have this available as a read aloud on YouTube though. That is linked in our resource page for you guys. All of our YouTube videos that we suggest throughout the curriculum are all in a cool QR code in the back of the curriculum. So I did a read aloud so that you don't have to try to get your hands on this. I was really lucky to find an inexpensive used copy after lots and lots of searching. A lot of these copies out there are like $50. That's pretty crazy. So we don't expect you to spend $50 on a used book. So you will have the read aloud of this available to you on YouTube so that you can still do that author study for the first lesson. And then of course you need a copy of Charlotte's Web. Doesn't have to be this one. I have a super duper old copy too. That's from my childhood that I also have. I think I grabbed this one from like one of those little free libraries. So any copy of Charlotte's Web will do. It doesn't matter. We don't go by page numbers for anything. So it doesn't matter what copy that you get of Charlotte's Web. They should all be the same. So let's dig into what an actual lesson looks like. So like I said, all of our lessons, if you're using Rabbit Trails before or in a different subject, they all look the same. But if you've never used it, then this will be what you can expect all of our units to look like. So it will start out with a lesson. So of course for our E.B. White lesson, it's going to be all about the author. As you get into the other lessons, that's where it'll be those topics that I listed. So like the next one's plot and narration, so it'll explain things about that as well. There's also copy work. So all of our copy work has snippets from the book and it also has a Bible verse for copywork. And with the Bible verse for copywork, there is a little lesson to tie in that Bible verse into whatever the lesson is or into what happened in the story as well. So it's got some like a little kind of like Bible lesson as a part of it as well, which I really love. We also have some fun. So this is some type of hands-on activity. For this one, it is to make an author brochure all about E.B. White. And so it'll be some type of fun activity for your kiddos to do on that page. Then let me open this up. We have kind of a 2-page layout here that we have our rabbit trails list and our library list. So this is all different picture books that can go along with whatever is happening in the chapters that you're reading, and also a video to go along with it as well. So that's what you're gonna find here. These books are not required. These are just more kind of going down that rabbit trail ideas to go even deeper into that story, and just more opportunities for books in your homeschool. And then last but not least, you are going to find the More Ideas page. And that's exactly what it is. It is more ideas to take you further down that rabbit trail. There might be poetry here. There might be double dipping into other subjects, whether it's science, whether it is an art study, whatever it is, it's all going to be different on all different lessons. And so it's just more ideas. What could be a writing assignment, like tons of different stuff. So that's just more ideas to get you further into that lesson, and you can pick and choose. Sometimes for different subjects, we may only do 2 or 3 of these as opposed to everything that's listed. And if your child is super into it, then you can do every single one of them. So it's totally up to you how you want to use this More Ideas list. And then, like I said, in the back of the curriculum is a resource page. So on this resource page, you are going to find the book list for these books on Amazon. Any kits that you might need to go along with it will also be on that. That's what we put that under, like the links and kits here. It'll be the same link to anything on Amazon. If there is a recipe or a link to a different website, all of that's going to be found here as well. And then there's also that QR code to go to all the YouTube videos so that you're not having to search for stuff yourself. It's all in a playlist that you can get right there. We also have a companion journal to go with all of our units. And this is really handy because then you can have everything all in one spot, as opposed to like in my home before we had these, I would kind of find papers like all over the place. And so this contains everything in one spot and just keeps it nice and neat and tidy. And so there are going to be pages for the lesson. If they want to write or draw anything to go along with that lesson, sometimes there are prompts inside of our lesson that say to write or draw something. But they can certainly just put like what their favorite parts of those chapters were here. There is also a page for copywork and a page for the Bible copywork as well. If there is, if the Some Fun is not like an art activity, then there'll be a page for the Some Fun, like there is here for that brochure. It even has a cute little pocket that you can cut out and glue to go on this page. So you're not going to lose that brochure somewhere else in your home. It'll all stay right here. And then there are pages for the video. If they want to write down any facts that they learned while watching the video, there is a space for that. There is a space to write down anything that they learned reading any of the Rabbit Trails books. And then there are pages for the More Ideas. And some will have lots of pages for the More Ideas. Some will have less pages for the More Ideas. It just depends on what those More Ideas are to see how many pages there will be in the journal to go along with those lessons. And so it's just a really sweet way. Like this one has a map. There we go. There's any maps. That's what I love the companion journals for, is maps, because then I don't have to search online for maps. That makes it super helpful, especially like for our history curriculum. I feel like those are always filled with maps. So, yeah, so this is a super sweet way to do novel studies in your home that doubles as an actual language arts curriculum, that triples as a bit of a Bible study, that has that handwriting practice with copywork. so much involved there, and it's great for multiple ages. So this is written for all elementary ages. So if you have a kindergartner and a third grader or whatever it is, maybe you have a second grader and a fifth grader, this is something that you can do together. You don't have to have separate language arts curriculums for all of your kids, that you can do all of them together using novel studies like this, and that makes it really awesome. We also have these really sweet scripture cards that you can get to go along with it. So all the scriptures in each lesson, oops, that one's upside down. All of the scripture in each lesson, we have scripture cards you can get to go along with it. And so these are beautiful to hang up maybe on your fridge. If you have a homeschool room, you can hang them up in there. And they can even use it as like memorization for these Bible verses as well. Or they can just use it for their actual copy work, whatever you want to use it for. It's just another option that you can add on to doing the novel study. But I think that covered everything. If you want to see a sample lesson, that is on our website. So you can see a full lesson just like I talked through, so that you can see exactly what's inside, exactly what you're getting. There's also a sample schedule on our website. And so you will notice for any of our rabbit trails, we do not have a schedule inside of it for you. Like I said, each lesson's meant to take about 2 weeks to do. That's completely on your time. I know that each family is so unique and that not everyone's homeschool looks the same. And so I don't want you to feel like you have to do this on Monday and you have to do this on Tuesday. There are Mondays that we're at co-op and I don't have time to do homeschool, and I don't want to feel like I have to double up the next day. Where if I know I have 2 full weeks to get this lesson done, I can plug things in my week however it works for my family. So you can look at the sample schedule to see how you can lay out a lesson over 2 weeks. That will show you 5 days a week for both of those weeks, and how we plug different things in different days to get the whole lesson accomplished. And so a lot of it's little bits and pieces here. We don't want you to be working on this for like an hour every single day. We want it to be nice and short, nice and sweet, but still getting the kiddos what they need to learn and to thrive. So you can take a look at that on our website too. And the scripture memory cards, the companion journal, Amazon, all that's linked on the website. So I will put all of that in the description for you guys and you can take a look at it all. But this is a really sweet novel study, and I'm so excited to get into your hands. So this week only through Sunday, June, let me open up my calendar, June 15th, 2025, through Sunday, if you use the code CW20, you can get 20% off of this novel study for the next few days. So go ahead and do that, and I hope that you guys love it as much as I do. Talk to you guys later.